Let's start InfoCube performance tuning. We can call it as a compression or collapse. So what is a use of doing the tuning of your InfoCube? After loading the data to InfoCube, in case the performance is very slow or not as accepted, then we have to go for performance tuning of your InfoCube. That is called compression or collapse. So by default, as we know that InfoCube contains two fact tables, F fact table, E fact table. Everybody aware of this one, right? F fact table, you can call it is a uncompressed fact table. E fact table, we can call it as a compressed fact table. So by default, whenever I load the data goes to F fact table. This is what we are aware of till now. But E fact table will be blank. Till now we have not loaded any data into E fact table. The reason because by default the data goes to F fact table. Okay. So when we load the data into InfoCube, the data will be stored in the F fact table. If the load contains a duplicate records, then the data will be summarized and stored into the F fact table. What in case if I have a multiple request data? If I load again data multiple times, which contains again a duplicate records, those cannot be summarized into a single request. So this is a one problem. Then what I need to do? I need to do send this data to E fact table. Why I need to send it to E fact table? E fact table does not contain any data by default. So I need to compress this data and send the data to E fact table. So these multiple requests, multiple loads, whatever you're loading more than once into InfoCube, those requests can be summarized and stored into E fact table. That is a one biggest advantage of compressing the data. Is it clear, guys, now to everyone?
Yes.
Okay, so let me clarify to you once again. Whenever I load the data, the duplicate records will be summarized and it will be stored into the F fact table. This everyone aware of it. But if I load repeatedly the same duplicate records multiple times, those multiple load requests cannot be summarized as a single request. If you load any data into one time, it contains a 10 records or it contains a 10 lakhs records. It doesn't matter. It will summarize all the duplicate records. But anytime that duplicate records it will treat as only whenever you're loading the data as a one request. But if you load the same data again into the second request, the first request contains a duplicate record summarized. Second time I'm loading again duplicate records. For example, let's take scenario. I have a 20 records. Out of 20 records, I have a 10 records are duplicates. When I load first time into InfoCube, it will summarize the duplicate records. It will load only 10 records. Fine. If I load again 20 records second time, it will summarize the 20 records. It will load only 10 records. The first 10 records, the first load contains a 10 records. Second load contains a 10 records, but both loads contains the same records. That is the duplicates. It is not summarizing. Why? It will summarize only in that particular request. It doesn't check what is the other request is available. What are the documents are there in the other request. This is the one biggest disadvantage we have in the InfoCube. To overcome this, we're going to do compression. So what happens in the compression? Why should I do the compression? To save the memory, to improve your reporting performance, we do the compression for the InfoCube. What happens if I do the compression? During the compression, the data will be moved from F fact table into E fact table, and all the requested data, whatever any number of requested data, will be summarized to a single request or to single unit and stored into the E fact table. This is called compression. After compression data, after compression the InfoCube, no data will be available in the F fact table. Why? Why, guys?
All the data is moved into the E fact table.
Very good. Okay. So the advantage of compression, it saves the memory, it improves your reporting performance. Disadvantages, we're going to lose the request IDs after the compression. I told you that every document has a request ID. If there is no request IDs are maintained in the FAQ table, then what happens? It is not possible to delete the request from the compressed info queue. That's only disadvantage. They're going to ask in interview, what happens after the compression? I cannot delete the request from the info queue because I lose the request ID. If there is no request ID, how can I delete the data? Right? Based on the request ID, we're deleting the data. This is a one disadvantage. Let's start now. Exercise today. We're going to load the transaction data from the flat file to InfoCube. Then we do the compression. Okay. Let's go to. Fine. So first, what is a prerequisite? We should have a master data loaded. Then what I need to do? Can you give me a step? Anyone?
Then you have to load the transaction data, for which you need to create the data source
Very good.
under the existing
Okay, what is the
application
transaction
component.
code for data source? What is the transaction code for data source?
RSA 13.
RSA 13?
RS 15.
Okay.
I get confused.
So you need to do practice more. Still you are in confusion. Okay, chalo.
Yeah.
Let's create change and transport system is not configured. Oh, what is this? Okay, fine. So I got my data sources. First you need to check what is your source system. Maybe people are working in a different source system. Right click on your source system, say check, then double click on it. It will take you to inside your application component. Okay, 8:30, 9 p.m. batch, right? Okay, so right click on it, create data source. What is the other transaction code I told you to create directly data source? What is the other transaction code?
RSD DS.
RSDDS? RSDS. RSDS.
Yes.
It is very important for interview. You have to remember. Okay. What I can give for this transaction data source. What is this exercise number? 22. Huh? Yeah. Then that's a transaction data. What is a change and transport request? It's already there. What is today? January 5th.
Maybe they have refreshed the system.
Yeah, yesterday also I got the same problem. My evening class got disturbed.
Yeah, just go to STMS T code and we can make a single system. This thing, no?
What is that?
STMS T code.
After going there, what we need to do?
I can show the menu.
Okay.
I can.
Let me give you this one. HTMS.
Yes. /n.
Transport management system. Okay.
Yes. Wait. The TM is not configured. Go to overview. Overview. Menu, menu. Overview menu.
Okay.
Systems, click on systems. Somewhere here there is a step. Can you just click on continue?
Actually, this system is not configured. Even transport management system also not configured. It's inconsistent. They did something actually yesterday.
They made a system.
Yeah, I can do nothing.
Can you go to extras for a second?
Yeah, it clearly says that the TMS configuration is inconsistent.
Yeah. Initially, when we make a fresh installation, it says the same thing.
Guys, did you check your systems? You have same
One
problem?
second. Yeah, same problem. 1 second.
I think you're getting the same system then.
Yes.
Or then it will be same problem. It is a 183.82.101.130
Yes.
for everyone. Sai, you also? Sai, Sureka?
Yeah, same one, Kiran.
Oh my god. Oh, but they did something yesterday. They forgot to configure all these things. Yesterday evening class also got disturbed. I'm not able to create my data source at all. Change and transport system not configured. We can do nothing with this then if your data source is not ready. Okay, I'll do one thing. I'll show you the screenshots, then you guys can follow it. Tomorrow anyway I'll show you it. Is that okay for you? Rather than wasting your time.
If not, let us continue tomorrow, Kiran.
Yeah, first I'll do one thing. If you want to practice today without wasting your time, I'm going to show you that how we can do it. Later I will do you again the practice, okay?
Okay.
I'll give you only theoretical part today. Okay, first you need to create your data source. You know very well how to create a data source in extraction tab, right? Then load example data, fields tab, map the fields, preview tab, activate and read preview data, done. Your data source has been created. Now go to info provider, right click on your info area, create info queue. Then enter your technical name and description for info queue. Design your info queue. For example, 2 dimensions I have taken, sales and product, time characteristics into time dimension. Then all the key figure goes to fact. Then click on activate. Very simple info queue. Then create a transformation for your info queue in between your data source and info queue. That's a transformation. Activate. Then right click on data source, create info package, enter description for info package, go to schedule tab, click on start. Then right click on data source, create DTP. You all aware of all these things. I'm loading the data first to info queue. You know all these steps. Create DTP, extraction mode full, go to execute tab, activate and execute. Now click on administer data targets. Check that I have transferred 20 records, added 10 records. Out of 20 records, I have 10 records are duplicate. So what it does, it summarizes the data, then loaded as a 10 records. This is a load request 1. This is the data for load request, 10 records. If I come back to the DTP again, click on execute second time, it will load the data again. This is the second request. Now click on administer data target. If you see that right now I have a 2 load request. 377 was old and 379 is a new. Again I have loaded 20 records, added 10 records. if you right now, if you take the first 10 records and the next 10 records, both are same. So it is a duplicates. But it is not again summarized. The reason because we have loaded the data as a to request. Data will be summarized anytime only from the one request, not from the multiple request. This is a problem with the InfoCube. So in this case, what we want to do, we want to summarize the data. We want to remove the duplications. Then what I need to do, I have to compress. Okay, now please check the data in the InfoCube before going for compression. Now I have a 20 records. If you check here, so out of 20 records, 10 records are duplicates. So I want to summarize, I want to make it as 10 records only. Okay, now go to S11. I'm going to check the data into the FFACT table /BIC/F followed by your InfoCube technical name. Click on display, click on technical settings, execute, click on contents and execute and execute. Now the data is in FFACT table. How many records are there? 20 records. Very good. Now right click on InfoCube, select manage. If you want to do the compression, you have to select always the latest request. The reason because whatever the requests are below this number, all the requests will be automatically compressed. If you select, for example, I have here, let's take one example scenario. I have here, for example, 4 requests. 365, 375, 376, 377, 378, 379. For example, I have these many requests. What in case if I do only compression on selecting 377? If I select 377 and do the compression, whatever the above request, above 377, what is above 377 numbers? 78, 79. Those two requests will not be summarized. Whenever you select any request, always below numbers only will be summarized. That means that all the old requests will be summarized. Okay, so you have to select always the latest request number. Automatically all the requests below this will be summarized. So I am selecting here 379. Select your request 379, then go to collapse tab, then enter some job name, click on release button. Very simple. This is the only compression. You know, collapse tab, the same data, administer data target only. I am there only, same window. I'm not going to the different window. Don't get confusion. We were there in the request tab. We moved to collapse tab. Go to collapse tab, enter any job name, then click on release button. The data will be summarized. Now click on job log, execute, check your job status. It will be done. Now enter the transaction code. The job log, whatever the job log screen you comes here, there is a transaction code for this. You can directly enter that one. SM37. You have to remember, it's very important. Day to day, we're going to use this transaction code on everyday basis in case if you are in a supporting project. SM37. That is for simple job selection screen. Okay. This is a job status. I can check the job status by using a transaction code SM37. Okay. Come to SM37. Then enter your job name. Click on execute. You can check the status of your job. It has been finished. Once it is finished, come back to your InfoCube, administer data target screen, click on refresh button. Please observe that under compression we have indicators, the tick marks. It means that these two requests has been compressed. Okay, so what is the identification for us whether it has been compressed or not? How do I check? Guys, I need answer. Now the system says that it has been compressed. How do I check? Where do I check whether it has been compressed or not?
If you come across the AFACT table, in AFACT table we can see.
go and check the data. If the data is not in the FFACT table you can check, or EFACT table you can check, anyone. If you check in the FFACT table, the data should not be there. If you check in the EFACT table, the data should be there. Then only the InfoCube is compressed. Okay, now select the InfoCube, click on the contents, check the data. Okay, field selection. The number of records are only 10. The reason because the InfoCube has been compressed. Okay, now go to Contents tab, then click on Fact Table, that is a FFACT table. See that there is no data found. If you still have a doubt, go to S11, enter your FFACT table or EFACT table, anyone you can check. Right now I am checking in the EFACT table. Click on Display, click on Contents, click on Execute. Now the data is in the EFACT table and the number of records are 10. Okay, so this is called compression. Easy, guys. Any questions here?
Kiran, something I came across a problem in my earlier project.
Okay.
So we were using the real-time cube as per the BPC project. So what happened exactly is there's already the data is there, but due to some problem, all the data what you see went into negative records. Something like 320 became minus 320. That is, we can see another entry in this.
In this, in the sense, in a EFACT table?
No, in the FFACT table.
Whenever you load the data, all the records enter into as a minus, like negative numbers.
Yes.
Now please check your any routines are there before loading the data.
Not while loading the data. We have configured a distribution and collection concept, so which has triggered something wrong thing has been happened, and all the records went into negative mode.
That's what Raj. It doesn't go automatically negative. There is some program is running behind it.
Yes, I agree that, but something the BW consultant came into picture and he deleted those negative records. So that again all the records came into positive. I don't remember the steps exactly.
Why wants it is deleting only if it is a very few records, you can go for deletion. What in case if you have a huge number of records?
Yeah.
Then what you need to do? First you need to find out in a transformation what's happening there. Do the debugging.
Okay, Kiran.
Load that again. If you're getting the same problem there, then load first 10 records, then load again the next 10 records. Like that you will find out where is the problem, which records. Okay, you can do this one. If there also you're getting a negative numbers, then do one thing, take the data. I'm giving only workaround. Take the data, same open your, is the data coming from the flat file?
Not flat file, with a program.
Okay, from where you getting a data?
Data is coming from ECC only.
ECC. Okay, go to ECC and check the data, at least one record. Okay, open and check that record. What is the record? How the record has been, formatted? Is it exactly the same record? What you need to do is you need to verify your InfoCube structure and your data source structure. Both should be same. So you need to configure your InfoCube according to your data source structure. For example, I'm getting a data from the flat file. How the flat file looks, in the same way I need to configure my InfoCube also. If it is both has in the same look, then I need to check whether the data is displaying properly or not according to the data source. Whatever the way the data source is displaying the data, the same way InfoCube also should display the data. Then it is called data validation. Then the data is loaded properly. Okay, this is the one thing. Since you're saying it is coming from ECC, please ask them that is there any program before loading the data into InfoCube. So otherwise, if there is no negative records, it doesn't do anything. So do one thing, take the same data source into your sandbox. It's like a development box. Load again.
Okay.
Check there. If you're getting same in negative numbers, I'm sure that you're not going to get any negative numbers in a development system because it doesn't have anything. In a production system, they might have created any routines, transformation, routines and all this stuff. See that loading the data into InfoCube, there are a lot of things are there in between. We're going to come across to those things. We can select, we can filter, we can categorize what type of data I want to load into InfoCube. It doesn't mean that I have 100 columns in a data source. It doesn't mean that I'm going to load 100 columns and automatically 100 columns will be loaded into InfoCube. No. I can load only 2 columns also. That can be done.
Okay.
That is called, you're going to restricting the data. That can be done on the transformation time. Okay. We'll come to that situation. You can check this one. Okay.
Okay, Kiran.
Fine. Thank you guys and please try this one. Anyway, tomorrow I'm going to show you once again this.
Okay.
Any questions here? Sureka, Sai?
Kiran, I have questions from the previous classes. May I ask now?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, actually, in the past exercise for the delta upload, you have taken 2 different info packs for full load and delta load, right? So is it the same in the real-time scenarios also? We need to create 2 different info packs for full and delta load, or for that particular example, you have shown it like that?
See, it's very simple logic, Sureka. So whenever I want to do this delta, I have to do the full load first, right?
Yes.
Yeah, then what happens is, if there is any new records, then I have to load that one. That is called delta. Then I'll create one more only for delta records.
Okay. So it's the only way for delta, right? Creating one more info pack.
It is only for flat file. It is only for flat file. Underline. Okay, not for all the things. Only for the data, if you are getting through the flat file, this is the only option.
Okay.
But if you're getting data from ECC, there is a different methods again.
Okay.
Fine.
Yeah, and also how to use collectors in process streams, right?
What is that?
Collectors in process streams. And
collectors.
Yeah.
Okay, collectors is nothing but like we have AND or 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 XOR. What is the use of that one is like, and is either one should be like, successful on the top of that. Okay, then we'll come to, I'll show you one example for collector. Okay. So collectors are nothing but like, I'm collecting a couple of 2 process chains I have there, different variants I have there. I'm collecting that, connecting to AND operator, then I'm sending to the target. It is like a join concept. Are you aware of joins? And it's very similar to that, but not exactly joins. It is like you're connecting 2 different process variants.
Okay.
Fine.
Okay.
Any other questions, guys? Sai? Okay, chalo, then we'll meet tomorrow. Thank you.